Okay, Aurora, Colorado now. This is a live look now. The sun is up there in that state, and police have now detained 14 people and reported armed home invasion. That's the same apartment complex where a lot of people were complaining about the armed Venezuelan gang members roaming the halls. Reports indicate that investigators said that several suspects entered the apartment and had two people inside. The suspects then reportedly moved the victims to another apartment complex, or rather another unit on the property where police said they were found threatened and bound. An adult man sustained a non-life-threatening stab wound. At the moment, police say it's unclear if the suspects are connected to the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua, but we'll get a live report in Colorado 30 minutes away and bring you the latest on that developing story.
One thing I've always talked about on this channel is that to be informed about politics, you have to have a long memory. As you saw from the intro, 14 people got arrested that has possible connections to Tren de Aragua. And Democrats, they have to admit they're wrong on illegal immigration on more than one case, right? Illegal immigration doesn't help the economy. Having majority of your jobs go to non-Americans doesn't help your economy, right? And I'm going to get more into that. But first, I want to focus this half of the video on the lies from the Democratic Party, right? Because Stephen A. Smith's getting backlash for covering or highlighting how much Democrats lie. And I want to back him up, right? Because I don't care your political affiliation. I don't care if you're a liberal. I don't care if you're a progressive. I don't care if you're a Marxist. I care if you're right or you're not. That's all I care about. And Stephen A.'s correct. And if Democrats don't do any self-reflection, they're always going to remain as the anti-Trump, just anti-Republican party. The Republicans could be right on something, but if the Republicans are the one that's pushing it, Democrats are automatically anti that. And this is why I said that the Democrats, in my view, have painted themselves in a corner where they're considered the anti-American party. You do everything that's against Americans' best interest, but you want to have power in America. Make it make sense. Democrats cannot. Here's August 2024. This was Colorado's Democrat governor. This is his state this stuff is happening at. Denying that migrants, gang takeovers in apartment was your figment of your imagination. Oh, this aged well. Police is dismissing the alleged gang activity as Aurora Mayor says multiple apartment buildings are under gang control. And this goes to my same argument again. How is someone far away, like they make it make sense? Would you trust someone in Washington to tell you what's going on in New York? Or would you trust the New York mayor telling you what's going on in New York? People, this is why the Democrats do. They don't like people critically thinking. So here's the story. Here's the story. Let it load up a bit. Here's the story. 19 suspected Venezuelan illegal alien gangsters detained at Colorado apartment complex. Tren de Aragua has a known presence in the area and has turned into a serious threat in the state. The Aurora police detained 19 suspected illegal alien gang members from Venezuela on Tuesday following an incident that unfolded on Monday night. Police said at the news conference that the late Monday night, more than a dozen armed gang members accosted a male and female victim at the edge of the Laurie apartments and forced them into a different unit at the complex. The apartment complex has been the center of gang activity involving Tren de Aragua, a Venezuelan illegal gang that is accused of taking over apartment complexes and committing crime against residents. Aurora Police Chief Todd Chamberlain said that the individuals who are detained are Venezuelan and appear to be illegals. This is the open border policy that Biden has allowed to happen. And liberals, you guys got to admit, y'all are wrong on this issue, right? In New York, 75% of crime is tied to an illegal committing the crime. But instead of acknowledging the problem, instead of acknowledging what people see in front of their faces and what is being affected by them, you don't. People are seeing how illegals are getting resources, government resources, which the American taxpayers contribute to, and the illegals contribute nothing to, but they reap all the benefits. Look at Chicago, example one. Look at New York. New York had to cut funding from other programs that Americans benefit from just to accommodate the new influx into their deficit. And then this is the same party that wants to mock efforts at making our government more efficient. This is the Democratic Party. How wrong do liberals have to be to finally admit the fallacy, the flaw in their understanding of the border security. But they want to play on your feelings. They want to brag on your sympathy. And this is why I said never let these Democrats have your sympathy. Never let these Democrats have any sway on your emotions, because they will manipulate it to push wrong, ineffective solutions and approach to these problems to mask their political motive, which is they want more power. They want to consolidate power, and illegals is a pathway for them to do that. And that's the real reason they want illegals in this country. Not because it benefits Americans, which I'm going to show you illegal immigration don't benefit Americans. So I want to take you down memory lane because I'm doing another victory lap, right? This is a video I made, only 69 views. I know. I think I'm getting shadow banned, guys, but who cares? 1 month ago, I talked about how CNN panelists downplays the illegal immigration crisis on the American workers. And you know it. You love her. I forgot her name again. Catherine Campbell, the economist that makes all kinds of arguments about how deportation, and this is my point, I'm going to focus on mass deportation. She said in this clip that mass deportation will hurt America growth.
Planning on doing, and can he articulate
Well,
it?
to me, I think it's a great question, and it needs to be fleshed out. I think we should probably play the clip, though, of Harris from the Chicago Economic Club, or do we not have it? Because she didn't show up to talk. So here's what I think. He's going to extend the tax cuts. He's going to rein in the federal government and the overburdensome regulatory state, which he can now do because of the Supreme Court. And he's going to take on these countries that screw American workers. That's the plan. And by the way, he's going to crack down on immigration to the benefit of American workers.
He's going to deport 20 million people, the people who pick your crops, the people who process your meat, the people who, care for your grandmother, the people who serve all sorts of critical functions in this country. Yeah, he's going to deport a lot of people, and that's going to worsen the economy. In fact, there have been, like a dozen different independent economic analyses from Goldman Sachs, AEI, Brookings, Nomura, Peterson Institute. All of them
I know your argument. If you want to run on more illegal immigration as a Democrat, go ahead. I just don't think it's going to work in the election.
He wants to deport 20 million. I'm not done with his. I know what his economic policy is because he has talked about it. He doesn't understand how any of it would work, but he has talked about it. He wants 10% global tariffs, which would worsen inflation. He wants to deport 20 million people, which would worsen inflation and reduce growth. He wants to politicize the Federal Reserve, which would worsen inflation. He wants to devalue the dollar, which would worsen inflation.
And after all that,
all of these things.
The American population wants that economy back. What do you say to that?
I say that we should be talking about what the policies are.
They're just too dumb to understand.
It's all about messaging.
No, it's because
Who's going to pick your cotton, says the liberal panelist. So the argument that I want to debunk is deportation reduces economic growth. That was the point she made. That I forgot when that video came out, a month ago. Sorry, guys. My brain's all over the place. So in October, this lady made that claim. Oh, look at all the economists. The economists said this is going to happen. The analysis. And all I have to do is look at history and say, okay, were we in a similar situation before? How is a group of people where majority of them are on welfare benefits, where majority of this I'm talking about illegals, not legal immigrants. I'm talking about illegal immigrants. They commit disproportional violent crime. They just don't get prosecuted. They don't get held up. None of that. How are they a benefit to the economic growth of the country? So here's breaking news. My governor, Ron DeSantis, our economy in Florida grew 3.2% following his crackdown on illegal migrant labor, defying predictions of a 12.6 GDP loss. So the economists, these economic, and this is what I'm talking about, bias, liberal bias corrupts everything. You can make the same thing about conservative bias, but conservative bias, it tends to want to make a fundamental stance based on some type of observable evidence. I always make this argument, conservatism is based on empiricism. If I can have some proof of it, if I have some validity to it, I'm going to stand on it and interpret that as I want. While with liberals, they tend to have an imagination of how things should go, and then they try to find evidence to back up their conclusions, while we let the evidence inform our conclusions. So liberal economists were saying that Florida would lose $12 billion if we crack down on mass deportation. Trump wants to do this around the country. Do you now see sorry, liberals, I'm picking on you guys today, but can you see why Democrat voters, that majority of Americans wanted mass deportation? Because it's actually going to empower our economy. Another stigma from it, because I'm from Florida. I'm around the illegal immigrants sometimes, and when I go to visit my family in Hialeah. And one thing I know is when they make money here, that money is getting sent to another country. So spending doesn't happen here. So how economic growth can happen? And add that to the fact that in the Biden administration, majority of new jobs created went to non-American workers. But you're talking about reduced growth, liberal economists. This is why I say I don't believe no analysis. I believe evidence. I don't care about your economic theories. I believe evidence. What evidence do you have to support your economic theories? Most of these liberal economic people who push for, a government spending doesn't cause inflation. They do all these little stances. They got no evidence to back up their conclusions. But here we are. We grew 3.2% following the crackdown on illegal migrant labor. Trump is about to do this around the country. Stronger policies, stronger results. Ignore the federal government is the best thing ever it did, right? Everyone's commenting on this. Elected to get results. Elected not to be nice. Elected to get results. This is the philosophy of the Trump voter. We elected Trump not to be nice. We elected Trump to get results. MAGA, America First, is a results-driven movement. It's not an ideological-driven movement like the progressives, where they do things against common sense, like Brandon Johnson in Chicago. How are you gonna put Chicagoans in a $1 billion deficit for people who didn't contribute to you winning power, who don't pay your taxes, who don't fund your government? How are you putting the needs of other people over the people who fund your government, put you in power? Make it make sense. But progressives, from an ideological sense, it makes sense. Oh yeah, you're trying to solidify power, using the government. You use these illegals as justification for more government spending to raise taxes on your constituency, so you can fund all your peoples that ride with you. This is the ethos of progressives. If you look at the story of the founder of their ideology, Karl Marx used to do the same thing. He didn't take care of his kids. He didn't want to work. His family was living in absolute poverty. All he cared about was looking at his little books and doing all that stuff to make the Communist Manifesto. Whenever he did get a swing of money, big spender. He'll spend all of it, and then he'll come back home with nothing, to the dismay of his wife and children. This is Karl Marx. This is the founder of the political ideology of Marxism, socialism, and the progressive. And every single day, people of that ideological ilk prove time and time again why there's not a large representation of them in our government. DeSantis takes victory lap as Florida economy grows after illegal migrant labor crackdown. Governor DeSantis responded Tuesday to a media report on illegal immigration, noting that Florida's best in the nation legislation generated by a typical array of false media narratives that blew up, proving that the state's policies work. The goal needs to be disfavoring illegal immigration rather than, as is common across the U.S., incentivizing more illegal immigration. This is what Democrats constantly get wrong, at least the modern day Democrat constantly gets wrong about the illegal immigration issue. You can't sympathize your way out of this. All the results that it proves that illegal immigration is not good for the country. You cause more friction in the communities, more crime, because these people are undocumented. You don't know where they come from. You don't know their previous rap sheet. There's numerous reports showing that Biden left the border so open that he let illegal criminals who already committed crimes in their country of origin cross over the border, and you just release them into the country. Make it make sense. You want to sit here and pretend that you were tough on the border the whole time, and then you do a buzzer beater last minute. Oh, we want to change our stance on our border policy. You want to process more people in there when people want less people in here. We don't want more illegals in here. Pikachu face, you're surprised. You people and the liberals in the media are surprised that mass deportation is such a high favorability for Donald Trump. You didn't look at the polls, because the polls pointed at something you didn't want to recognize. This is the problem. This is the problem with liberals. This is why I said this. There should be a study on narcissism, self-centeredness, and a correlation with liberalism. Because I literally believe some of the most self-centered people are liberal. Just because of this. Polls are showing you that people want mass deportation. Your candidate is not in favor of mass deportation. Trump is in favor of mass deportation. And you have a Pikachu face that Trump won the election with the popular vote. Make it make sense. With all the evidence and data is in your face, you chose to dismiss it, ignore it, label it as, oh, this is not what the American people actually want. Who is you? Who are you? Like, liberal, who are you? I know I'm picking on liberals today, but I'm starting to get, like, it gets annoying sometimes, you know? That conservatives bring out a legitimate problem that's observable and demonstrable in reality. We say, hey, we have the better approach here. Americans agree that we have the better approach here, and Democrats still wants to get in your way. Not Eric Adams, though. We'll get to him later today. But this is Democrats have shown themselves to be American last. This was them in August. A governor of his state say, oh, this is a figment of people's imagination. You got liberal economists saying that the American people are dumb and that if you deport these people, who's going to pick your cotton? Who's going to mow your lawn? Who's going to take care of your grandma, says the liberal, treating illegals like slaves. I guess Democrats have never left their roots, huh? It's going to reduce our economy if you crack down on illegal immigrants, if you deport these people. Facts come out later. A governor that's doing the same policy that Trump wants to do nationally, his economy grew. This is why people don't trust the experts anymore. Because the experts seemingly is being driven by their bias, and their bias is affecting their ability to effectively do their job. Liberal analysis, I keep saying liberal, but economists, and even the most economists are liberal now. Economists said that this will hurt the economy. Reality defies the predictions, showing you that experts are just human, just like you and me. Experts are just closer to the information than you and me. And they got it wrong. And you still want American people to trust the experts? This is why the left don't want you to think critically. This is why the left don't want you to do your own research. Because when you do your own research, you defy their expectations. You challenge them. You're skeptical of them. I don't think that's going to work. How is helping a group of people that don't contribute to your economy much, but they take from your economy, how does that drive growth in our economy? Common sense will say it doesn't, but these liberals try to defy common sense. Liberals want to play word games instead of living in the world of reality. And this is why this is going to lead to their downfall. But hey, I digress. Enough of me opining about this. But let me know your thoughts. Why do you believe the Democrats continuously defend illegal immigrants? Is it because, like I think, they have a political motive for defending them because they benefited politically from having illegals in the country? Or do you think it's another reason? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'd like to hear what you guys have to say. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate you guys watching to the end of the video. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.